Ancient Greece, 490 BC. The Greek army faces off against the invading hordes of Persia in a great battle at the city of Marathon. After 3 days of desperate fighting, and despite being vastly outnumbered, the Greeks are victorious. Greece is saved. The Greeks dispatch their messenger Phidippides to share news of the victory. As the legend goes, he runs without stopping 26 miles from Marathon to the gates of Athens. Oh look, here comes oh man, there he is! Hey, hark, Phidippides, what news of the battle? How fare our brave Greeks against the monstrous Persians? Phidippides, you look like shit, man. Have you run the whole way? Yeah, you can tell he takes care of his body. Look at that. God damn. Then the Greeks must have lost, for if we had won, there'd be no reason for him to run the whole way without stopping. He could have taken a break. Friends, gather all remaining citizens to fight. Put a sword in the hands of the women and the children. Tell them all they march for glorious battle. No. What's that? No, Phidippides? No, you're right, Phidippides. There's no point being coy. Tell them all they march to a violent and bloody death. No. What's that, brave Phidippides? You're saying we should kill the children ourselves to save them from a fate worse than death. Well, fuck, all right. Right, get friends, gather, put down your Persian killing swords and pick up your smaller, cuter, but still very sharp child killing swords. Oh, no. Why is that always your first suggestion, to kill all the children? I hate the children. They make me feel irrelevant. Friends, Greece is victorious. Oh, nice. Oh, that's great to hear, man. Upon delivering news of the victory, Phidippides' heart explodes from joy, apparently, and he dies. Oh, he's dead. He must have died of joy. But his legend shall live on. For centuries from now, a race shall be invented, one that adults will impulsively sign up for in the New Year's and then sort of forget to train for and then greatly injure themselves in August. Yes, and to honor Phidippides, it should be called the Peter Run. No, man, no. We'll think of a better name. Yeah, look at that. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the stage, Nic Sampson! Great. Oh, thanks for swearing. My name's Nick. Thank you for coming to my show. This is awesome. I love doing this. This is man, it's so good to be able to do show. It's so good to be doing this again. You know, thank you. I love the stage, man. I've always loved the stage. Growing up in New Zealand, I was obsessed with the stage. And you guys in London, you have the best stages in all the land. I dreamed of being on a London stage. I dreamed of being in a proper play, you know, where you come in and you hang up a coat and you say, "It's really coming down out there." Theatre, you know. Here I am, so thank you. I'm in my 30s, the perfect age. And I'm at the age where I'm feeling compelled to tell people that I'm thinking about running a marathon. So I figure it's biological. We all start feeling it. It's either that or tell people I'm thinking of investing in crypto. It's one or the other. And I'm getting the word out. And so I started thinking about doing a marathon recently. And I wanted to do it. So I started researching all the stuff that you do when you really want to do something. You know, like the worst thing that can happen during a marathon. Reasons why you shouldn't run a marathon. Reasons why running a marathon is racist now. And it was while I was searching that I came across this story. And it's the story of the 1904 Olympic Marathon in St. Louis. It's widely regarded as the worst marathon in Olympic history. And I would agree. It's an incredible batshit story. It's a story of struggle, failure, stupidity, cheating. But at the heart of it is this guy who's left his home behind, he's left his family, and he's traveled halfway around the world for one last shot at his foolish dreams. I couldn't relate, but I did think it was pretty funny. And genuinely, the more I read it, welcome. The more I read about it, the more I just wanted to share it with people. And I guess I could have sent you the Wikipedia link. But here we are. So I should say I'm not a historian. An historian. I'm not, but I am an trained actor, and my skills as someone who has performed inside the Kung Fu Panda suit at the Wellington Christmas Parade twice, to bring this incredible story to vivid life right here on stage. And gosh, I don't know, who knows? Maybe with a bit of luck and a little theatre magic. Thank you, Hannah. You might even be able to smell the freshly cut grass at the athletics field and maybe even hear the pounding of long dead feet on the bustling roads of St. Louis in that foreign country we call the past.
You watch it. Don't you know it's 1904?
That's enough theatre magic. Thank you, Hannah. The first two modern Olympics were held in Europe, in the hallowed sports grounds of Athens and the majestic streets of Paris. The third Olympics were held in the industrial port city of St. Louis, Missouri. It was the first time that they'd been held in America, and it was a huge get for St. Louis, and a massive pain in the ass for the rest of the world. Welcome to St. Louis, Missouri, home to the 1904 Olympic Games, and the first time the Games have been held outside of Europe. But don't let that deter you. St. Louis is just a hop, skip, and a jump onto a steamship, followed by a brisk 14-day ocean voyage and a 1,000-mile train journey. Before you know it, you'll be taking in the sights of the shoe factory, the lead factory, and St. Louis's many other exciting factories. Worried the journey will take too long and you'll miss out on all the fun? Don't be, because the games are bafflingly spread out over 5 months. 5 glorious months of sporadic competition. Coincide with the World's Fair. Just make sure you get there in time for the main event, the marathon, where the winners' medals will be presented by none other than President Roosevelt's daughter. President could not be bothered to come. Because international travel is so hard in 1904, only about 60 competitors from outside America actually go to the Olympics. Even the guy who invented the Olympics, French Baron Pierre de Coubertin, didn't bother to go. He was quoted as saying he had a feeling it would match the mediocrity of the town. It's average. But he's right. They are a shit show. They take forever. They're underattended. One of the sports is tug of war. The water polo finals have to be cancelled because a farmer brings his cattle into the lake when the game is on, and half the players contract typhus. A guy with a wooden leg wins 6 medals in gymnastics, which is more amazing than anything. But the marathon is the biggest disaster of all. Why? Yeah, because, well, I'll tell you at length. Because a lot of it, I think, is to do with the people in charge. People like Chief Olympic Organizer James Sullivan. But why don't I let him introduce himself? Well, it's really coming down out there. Hello there, my name is James Sullivan. I'm the organizer of these here Olympic Games in 1904. It's 1904, look around you, it's 1904. You, sir, what's your favorite thing about being alive in 1904?
Not being dead.
Well, you're an easy chap to please. Absolutely. Being alive is fantastic. I couldn't recommend it more. To be honest, I'm having a hard year myself. I've staked my whole reputation on these Olympic Games going well, and they're not going well. But don't feel too bad for me, because I am a huge piece of shit. Oh, yeah. Did you know that the games were supposed to be held in Chicago this year? Yeah, they were, and I stole them. I threatened and bullied and stole them, and also in a few years I'll do everything I can to keep women out of the Olympics, so don't worry about me. Anyway, where are my manners? Can I get you a drink or something?
Yes, please.
Water or brandy?
Brandy?
Nobody ever chooses water. You know why that is? It's because we don't need it. Not to live, anyway. Oh, we like it, sure, on a hot day, we like it. But we don't need it. It's not important to us. Isn't that right, Charles?
Oh, yeah, sure, it could be. Nobody really knows how the human body works.
Well said, Charles. Charles Lucas here is one of the race doctors.
Oh, I wouldn't say doctor. More of just a fan of medicine. But studies have shown that the most dehydrated people are usually the ones at the front of the race. So the thinking goes, you know, being dehydrated makes you run faster.
Fabulous. And it's that sort of thinking that I encourage, which is why at the marathon tomorrow I will not be providing the athletes with water. I believe that freed from their nasty addiction to water, they will push themselves to greater physical heights. And, well, in this great age of discovery, nothing is more important than following a hunch. See you all at the finish line. I don't know, I thought that was pretty good. I'm gonna force polite claps out of every little thing I do. Charles Lucas is one of the race officials, unfortunately for the runners. But fortunately for us, he wrote a book about the Olympics, and it includes a first-hand account of the marathon. This is actually not the book, this is just a PDF that I downloaded. I've stuck it to the outside of this commemorative picture book for Princess Alexandra. She look a vision. Anyway, as the race day begins, the temperature in St. Louis reaches 33 degrees Celsius with a humidity of 90%.
Dear.
Yeah, in these conditions, continued physical exertion is likely to result in heat exhaustion, cramps, and heat stroke. The organizers have decided to test out the effects of purposeful dehydration on the athlete. Yeah. 36 runners have signed up for the marathon. Only 32 actually turn up to France's Olympic field. Fair enough, it's very hot. Most of them are American. But there are some really good runners here. There's like some big names in running. We're talking Sam Mellor, we're talking Arthur Newton, we're talking Mike fucking Spring. I have to tell you guys who these guys are. These are veterans of the Athens Paris Olympics. They're winners of the Boston Marathon. These are big running boys. And then there are the other guys, including a lone Englishman called Thomas Hicks. Well, he's from England, but he's running for America. Why don't I let him introduce himself? Oh, it's very hot today. Hello there. I'm Thomas Hicks. I'm 29 years old. I'm a brass worker by trade. Well, as you can probably tell by my accent, I'm from Birmingham. Shut up. And I'm very. I've never won a race. I've never set a record, but I'm serious about running. People tell me I'm serious about everything. Which I think is not true. I think I am quite funny, actually. Maybe it's the British humor doesn't get translated to over here. Anyway, my only goal in life is to win a marathon. I'm not really sure why. It It just says that in that book. I mean, if I was to make up a backstory, it would be purely for dramatic purposes. My father was a hard man. Cold and unyielding like the mountains of brass that filled our workshop. He thought running was a waste of time, something for cowards and criminals. And he thought if I was ever going to take over the family business that I would have to give it up. I'll never forget the day I told him I was coming to America to run. And I'm so sorry. You actually look a lot like my father. Would it be weird if you just kind of stand? Would you mind just standing here for a second, just for a minute? Try to really help me for a very quick flashback. Traveling back in time now. It's the moustache, I think. So, I remember he was in his workshop like he always was, banging on a big sheet of brass. Yeah, no, that's great. He didn't work very much. He sort of did it in 3 or 4 bursts and then stopped.
Very hot first.
Yes, he was always complaining. And I remember coming in and saying, "Father, I can't take over the shop. I'm leaving for America. What do you think about that?"
It's not your best decision.
He said in his thick Birmingham accent.
Not your best decision.
I have no idea. I think so. I think it's better. Well, that's disappointing, Father. But I'm going anyway, and I don't care what you say. I turned to leave, and my father was a man full of sayings. And as I left, he said 3 words to me that I'll never forget.
Don't fucking go.
Gorgeous. Don't fucking go. That stays with me till now. Well, guess what, Dad? I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna win this marathon, and I'm gonna win it for America, the country where people respect me. People like my good friend here, Charles Lucas. What's that? Oh, yeah, you're gonna do a great, pal. Good luck out there. Yes, well, I definitely know I'm gonna beat all the other Englishmen. Okay. Because there are none others. It's just me. It's a joke. If you say so. Another underdog at the starting line is a New York bricklayer called Fred Laws, but why did I let him? Well, geez Louise, as hot as a slice of New York style pizza today. We call it in New York. Pizza. I'm Fred Laws. I'm from New York City, baby. I'm a runner. I'm young. I'm rowdy, and I got a bit of a reputation in the running scene as a practical joker. Which, I mean, who knows what that means? Maybe I like to tie people's shoelaces together or something. I don't know. A couple of facts about me. I do all my training at night. Fallen down a lot of manholes. And I won my place in the Olympics by winning a 7-mile fun run. Oh, look, it's Tommy Hicks. Yeah, me and this guy go way back. How you doing, Tommy? Put her there. Yes. Hello, Fred. Good to see you. Classic prank. Classic running prank. You gotta be faster than that out there on the roads, Tommy. Just like that. Listen, I remember the last time we raced, Fred. I beat you quite extensively. You must have cheated. I don't cheat. You just have no idea how to pace yourself. Nah, this guy's he's a candidate, a lousy crumb. He's just jealous because he's a goopy little grouser because he knows that today I'm going to catch a break and it'll be curtains for him. I'm going to have a humdinger, baby. It's in the bag. It's duck soup. Fred, as impressive as your well-researched 1900 slang is, the race is about to start and I need to focus. Why do I want to win the marathon, you ask? Well, I'll tell you, it's to meet the Alice Roosevelt. I'll tell you, Tommy, when she's up there, I'm up there on the podium, she's going to take one look at this puss, and she's going to be all Google-wise. She's going to be smitten as a kitten, baby.
Fred, please, shut up! That's it, Tommy. Wrench that back. Wrench it.
I am wrenching. I am. Alice Roosevelt is she's the daughter of President Theodore Roosevelt. She's a huge celebrity at the time. She is a rebel, she drinks, she smokes, she's a fashion icon, she stays out late, she rides around in cars with strange men, she gambles. In 1 year, she went to 400 parties. She is what we would now refer to as a fucking legend. Her father once said about her, I can be president of the United States or I can control Alice. I can't do both. And she's at the games today to present the medals. And hundreds of spectators, yeah, we're all hard to play. Hundreds of spectators have gathered into the stands to watch her, and if they have to, the race. But before it can begin, there's one more character we need to meet. He's 5 feet tall. He has a big, thick handlebar moustache. And while everyone else at the starting line is wearing running clothes, he's arrived wearing heavy black dress shoes, woolen trousers, a billowy white piratey blouse, and a beret. This is Felix Carvajal. He is a Cuban mailman. And he speaks very few words of English, Hello, I am Felix Carvajal. I am from Cuba. I like to run in the Olympic marathon. Thank you. I've decided that the character of Felix Carvajal will have a New Zealand accent. Felix Carvajal is the only runner for Cuba. In fact, he's the only competitor from Cuba at all. And the Cuban Olympic team didn't even bring him to the Olympics. Just showed up. He raised money to get to the Olympics by running the length of Cuba. I have no idea who paid him to do that. Like, presumably just people who wanted their mail. And when he arrived in New Orleans by steamship a few days earlier, the very first thing he did in America was lose all that money in a game of dice. And he was now 600 miles away from the Olympics, completely broke. But Felix Carvajal don't give a shit. He starts running. He runs, walks, and hitchhikes 600 miles in 2 days. And when he arrives at the starting line, he hasn't eaten or slept in 48 hours. Hello, I am Felix Carvajal. I am from Cuba. I like to run in the Olympic marathon. Thank you. Hello, I am Felix Carvajal. I am from Cuba. I like to run in the Olympic marathon. Thank you. Hello, I am Felix Carvajal. Hello, I am Felix Carvajal. Oh, hello, I'm Thomas Hicks. Gosh, you're wearing woolen trousers. I am from Cuba. Oh, I'm sorry. Well, I'm not familiar with the customs of Cuba. Gosh, you're a long way from home. I guess we both are. Just a bit nervous. I like to run in the Olympic marathon. Well, yes, exactly. I mean, that's it. It's the Olympics. Gosh, if everyone back home could see us now, what do you suppose they would say? Thank you. Yes, you're right. They would say thank you. They would say thank you for representing us. Thank you for making us proud. And to the people that didn't believe in us, we would say, hello. Yes, we'd say, here I am. Whether you like it or not. I am Felix Carvajal. I am from Cuba. I am Thomas Hicks. I am from England. I like to run in the Olympic marathon. And there's nothing you can do about it. Thank you. Thank you. Good show, old boy. Good show. Hello. Just before the race begins, a conscientious onlooker takes a pair of scissors and cuts Felix Carvajal's trousers off at the knees, turning them into woolen shorts. Yeah, that's right. Oh, you clap for the other stuff, you don't clap for this. You thought I had terrible taste in trousers, didn't you? What the fuck is this guy wearing? Well, they were a prop. But the joke's on you, because I wear them all the time. They were very expensive. I have to find cheap, zip-off trousers that look good. So, sharks, this is something for you. Okay. Right, 3 p.m., the hottest part of the day. Thomas Hicks, Fred Laws, Felix Carvajal, and 29 other runners take their place at the starting line, and the worst race in Olympic history begins. Hey, who tied my shoelaces together? Fred Lewis fires ahead like a bullet, taking an enthusiastic and early and completely unmaintainable lead. Thomas Hicks surges forward in the middle of the pack, his focus sharp. Hello, I am Felix Carvajal. The runners perform 5 laps of the stadium and then head out into the streets of St. Louis. The gathered crowd watches them leave. Among them, Olympics organizer James Sullivan and first daughter Alice Roosevelt. But, well, hi there. I'm Alice Roosevelt. Please, no pictures. Miss Roosevelt, welcome to St. Louis. It's a pleasure to have you here. Oh, I assure you the pleasure is all yours. Now, where are my runners? Well, Miss Roosevelt, the game's only just begun. They should be back in about 3 hours. 3 hours? Where are they running to? The moon? What am I supposed to do for 3 hours? Well, Miss Roosevelt, I thought you and I might take a little walk around the city, take in some of the athletic events. How do you say that? Well, don't take this the wrong way, Mr. Sullivan, but that sounds fucking awful. I do not care for sports. This fine city would not be worth taking in if it was entirely on fire. And as for walking, I am much too hungover, and it is much too hot for any activity that isn't drinking cold gin under a damp blanket. Frankly, I'm only here because Daddy's mad at me. I gave his mustache a tiny little trim in the Oval Office, and well, if you touch my hand again, Mr. Sullivan, I will set Emily Spinach on your throat. Oh, Alice Roosevelt carries around a snake called Emily. Outside the stadium, the runners leave the straight paved roads of the city and head out into the sweltering countryside where everything immediately goes to shit. Here is an extract from the book that Charles Lucas wrote.
The course through St. Louis County was the most difficult a human being was ever asked to run over. 25 miles over roads, many inches deep in dust, and with no less than 7 hills, varying from 100 to 300 feet high. In many places, cracked stone had been strewn over the roadway. Accompanying the runners were a number of automobiles filled with race officials like myself, which unfortunately raised a great quantity of dust, obscuring the runners and choking them until they were forced off the road. Dust filled the air and was carried into the stomach and lungs of the athletes, as they were compelled to run behind the cars with their mouths open. Hey, doing great back there, boys! Keep going, I'm gonna be here the whole time!
Half a mile into the race, John Lorden, one of the best runners in the country, starts vomiting and has to pull out. And nobody has any water. 3 miles, Fred Laws has lost his enthusiastic lead, panting in the scorching heat, scrambling over broken rocks up the enormous hills. He's now back in 4th place. Hey, why do I think I can keep up this pace? What a dingbat, what a doofus, what a schmuck. Thomas Hicks is back in 7th place, choking on the clouds of dust churned up by the cars that are supposed to be there to support them. The gaps are widening between the runners, and Thomas Hicks is in danger of being left behind, spitting mouthfuls of Missouri dirt. He picks up the pace. At the time of the race, the World's Fair was on in St. Louis, and one of the attractions at the World's Fair was the introduction to modern America of the ice cream cone. So I like to think it's entirely possible that while they were running, the streets were paved with spectators enjoying ice cream for the first time. 6 miles, Thomas Hicks closes the gap. He catches up to Fred Laws, who's suffering from intense heat cramps. Tommy, when I find the bonehead who organized this rinky-dink operation, I'll tell you what, I'm gonna call him out on the carpet. I'm gonna give him an earful. I'm gonna read him the riot act. Fred, please stop talking. What is that? It's not just the heat, the rocks, the dust, the hills that the runners have to deal with. They also have to deal with a new invention called oncoming traffic.
They didn't close the roads. Sick and tired of your old horse-drawn carriage? Well, we've taken the power of 20 horses and trapped their souls inside this metal box using modern technology and good old-fashioned American witchcraft. Introducing the automobile. Feel the rush as you careen along, strapped to 12,000 pounds of rickety steel and gasoline. Just kidding, there's no strap or seat belts. Don't think we're not safety conscious. Each horn comes equipped with a horn that goes awooga, so yeah, you'll be fine. The automobile, good luck out there.
Oh, I am loving driving this automobile around the St. Louis countryside. It's just, wow, the wind in my hair, it's just fantastic. And I tell you, it pairs brilliantly with this iced cream cone. Truly, the taste of summer 1904. This is a real pleasure overload for me, a German tourist, because Nick can't do any more different voices. Oh, look, a big drip. I better devote my whole attention to it. Oh, you Scheiße! A car has to swim out of the way of the runners and crashes into a ditch, injuring 2 people. But it's not just the cars, the rocks, the heat, the dust, the cramps, and the hills the runners have to deal with. St. Louis County is also home to roving packs of wild dogs. Win Tanyani is one of 2 South Africans in the race. They're the first black Africans to ever compete in the Olympics, and he's running barefoot through all this, and he's doing amazingly until he's chased off the road by wild dogs. By the time the dogs give up, by the time the dogs give up, he is more than a mile off course. The roads of St. Louis are ruining everyone. Well, almost everyone. It's Carvajal. I like to run the marathon. Yeah. Oh, shit! Wherever a crowd had assembled along the road to see the runners pass, Felix Carvajal would stop to chat in broken English. And must have lost almost 60 minutes in time. On one occasion, he stopped at my automobile where a party of us were eating peaches and begged for some. We refused, but he playfully snatched 2 anyway and ran along the road eating them as he ran. 9 miles. Fred Laws starts vomiting while he runs.
Hey, Tommy, what do you want me to say to Miss Roosevelt at the finish line when she gives me the gold medal?
Fred, you don't seem well.
Oh, I'm fine. I just gotta hold on for 1 more mile.
Nope. Fred, there's like 17 more miles to go. Fred Laws pulls out of the race at just 9 miles with cramps and vomiting. He gets into one of the support cars that's headed back to the stadium, and he's not the only one. A dozen other runners pull out of the race before the halfway mark, suffering from cramps and heat exhaustion. Even including the entire team from Greece, the country that invented the marathon. An American runner named William Garcia is found by the side of the road, barely breathing. He's taken to hospital, where he's found to have a large quantity of dust in his stomach, and he nearly dies. 12 miles. At 12 miles, the runners who haven't been defeated by the heat, or chased off by the dogs, or hit by the cars, or choked on the dust. You know, a marathon. Arrive at the only source of water along the course, a well at 12 miles. But the catch is that the drinking water in St. Louis is an acquired taste. And if you're not from around there, it's liable to give you intestinal trouble. And through it all, Thomas Hicks of Birmingham keeps going. He's in 3rd place now, behind Olympic veterans Sam Mellor and Arthur Newton. His lungs are burning, his stomach churning, his feet are screaming. Every bone in his body is telling him to give up. There's a louder voice in his head. It's the voice of his father. All those years ago. Those 3 words, repeating round and round.
Don't fucking go.
Repeating round and round.
Don't fucking go. Don't
Maybe just
fucking
twice.
go. Don't fucking go.
He pushes forward. Overtakes Arthur. He's now in 2nd place behind Sam Mellor, one of the greatest runners in the world. Earlier this year, Sam beat Tom in the Boston Marathon. He's not going to be able to pass him. Until suddenly, Sam Mellor clutches his side, wrecked with heat cramps, and he falls to the side of the road. Incredibly, 15 miles, Thomas Hicks is in 1st place. There aren't many runners left. All he has to do is hold on. But his push has cost him the last of his reserves. He's flagging. So he turns to his buddy Charles in the support car, asking for water.
Whoa, yeah, sure, buddy. Here you go.
Water!
Listen, buddy, if I give you water, you could become dangerously hydrated. What you need, take it from me, is a nice hot spongy.
So, he takes a hot sponge that's been sitting on the radiator and sponges the outside of Hicks's face. Sponge me down. Come on. Here you go. Thanks, bud. Thank you. Nice hot sponge. Thank you. Yeah, no, that's... Meanwhile, the car that's carrying Fred Laws back to the stadium breaks down. Hey, what gives? No, this is a real bellyache. Hey, never mind, boys. I can
see the stadium from here. I think I'm just gonna jog back and get my clothes.
Okay. 18 miles. Thomas Hicks looks about ready to collapse. But Charles Lucas has a plan.
As she made her solemn vows before the altar of Westminster Abbey, it is certain. The marathon race, from a medical standpoint, demonstrated that drugs are of much benefit to athletes along the road. The author was forced to administer to Hicks 1/60th grain of sulfate of strychnine, along with more brandy and the white of one egg. Back then, strychnine is a sort of muscle stimulant, whereas now it's more commonly used as quite an effective rat poison. Feeling low on energy? Need a pick-me-up? Try strychnine, the muscle-invigorating substance that makes you spasm uncontrollably in a good, fun way. Recommended by 3 out of 5 doctors and 5 out of 5 assassins. Strychnine. Nobody knows what's going on. We're just trying our best.
Okay, buddy. Here's what I'm gonna do. God, come out. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna give you another nice warm sponging, a bunch of brandy, couple of tablets of yummy strychnine, and what the hey, an egg. Why not?
We're pouring into glass.
Thank you.
Ready?
Thank you.
Another?
With some strychnine? Thank you. Meanwhile, Felix Carvajal has stopped running. He's in an orchard picking apples. Carries on for another mile or so, chatting to people. Hello, I'm Felix Carvajal. When suddenly, turns out the apples are rotten. So Felix does what anyone would do in this situation. He lies down by the side of the road and falls asleep. Meanwhile, the strychnine has revitalized Tom Hicks in the same way that being shot in the leg with a handgun helps you beat 330-itis, but it doesn't last for long. He starts flagging. Oh, he's coming down. We need to re-up. We need to re-up quickly. Come on. One more round. Here you go, Tommy. Come on. Time to take your medicine. Oh, some very strychnine. Thank you. I hope you're not an accident. You want more of the other stuff, too. Why not? Miss Bunger? Yeah. No! Alright, go over it, Nick. Thank you, you're a good boy. Someone get the hospital on the street okay.
Over the last 2 miles of the road, Hicks was running mechanically, like a well-oiled piece of machinery. His eyes were dull, lusterless. The ashen color of his face and skin had deepened. His arms appeared as weights well tied down. He could scarcely lift his legs, while his knees were almost stiff. The brain was fairly normal. But there were more or less hallucination.
Thomas! It is I, Philippines.
You've got your whole dick out.
I'm a runner. I'm surprised you don't. How are you doing, buddy?
I feel awful. This race is not fair.
Oh, not fair? Not fair? I'll tell you what's not fair. Running around ancient Greece. One time I got led into an enchanted forest by a woman who turned out to be made entirely of beetles. Another time, I found a tortoise flipped over on its back, turned it over to help it out. It's Zeus. Then he tries to fuck me. Life isn't fair, my friend. And if you want to be remembered forever, you're going to have to make the ultimate sacrifice.
I'm going to have to die?
I did! And now the pedo run lives forever! Forever! Forever!
At the finish line, the gathered crowd are doing whatever it is people in 1904 do to pass the time. And is staring at a locket. Alice Roosevelt has, I imagine, been drinking. So Daddy said to me, he said, Alice, I forbid you from smoking under my roof. And I said, well, that's fine by me, Daddy. I'm going to smoke on top of the roof of the White House now. So every time I need a cigarette, I climb up on the White House roof. And that's true, and you can look that up. I tell you what, this ice cream is just a ticket for my hangover. Emily Spinach, you want a little ice cream?
Oh, snakes can have a little ice cream. As a tree.
Oh, wow, I say, finally, here comes one of the runners. Here comes the winner. A ripple of excitement spreads through the crowd. Like cold sores in a drama camp. As a lone runner jogs into the stadium. It's Fred Laws! Jogging back to pick up his clothes. The gathered crowd starts cheering for who they imagine to be the winner of the marathon. No, it's not me, come on! Okay, yeah, all right. Come on! Freddie! Yeah! Fred Laws crosses the finish line and wins the marathon. Despite having driven half the way. Well done, boy. I'm James Sullivan. That was a fantastic performance. You don't look puffed at all. Answer me this. Have you been drinking water?
Oh, no, sir.
Not at all.
Put her there.
Ah, well, okay. Ah, very funny.
Well,
I'd like you to meet Alice Roosevelt. Hi there.
Hello.
Well, this is a riveting conversation, but why don't we just get on with it? She places the laurel leaves on his head, and she's just about to put the gold medal around his neck when Thomas Hicks enters the stadium. And the contrast between Fred and Tom could not be more stark. Fred looks rested, refreshed, like he's driven recently. Thomas Hicks looks like a corpse. A staggering, mumbling corpse, powered by nothing other than pure will and drugs, and booze, and eggs. He can't even stand upright at this point. He's been supported on either side by Charles Lucas and another trainer. And when Charles Lucas sees Fred on the podium, he is furious. Hey, what's that guy doing? He's not supposed to be. He's out of the race. He's just cheat. Oh, I'm so mad. Is this true?
Gotcha. One of my classic pranks.
I know a thing or two about pranks, my boy, and one time I put a thumbtack down on a chair at the House of Representatives and one of the politicians sat on it and it pricked him in the bottom, and that's true, you can look that up. This was a plain and simple dick move.
Yeah, buddy. They're cheering for you.
Single step more. So, like the bobsled at the end of Cool Runnings, the trainers literally pick him up. They carry him the last few meters with his legs kicking weakly in the air. But at this point,
Nobody's gonna disallow that! He crosses the finish line! And wins the marathon! With an abysmal Olympic time of 3 hours, 28 minutes, 53 seconds, a full half an hour slower than the record at the time, and an hour and a half slower than the current record. But he does it. Well done, boy! Well done!
Am I dead?
Of course you're dead! Of course! Now, come with me to Mount Olympus. I want you to meet my girlfriend. She's made entirely of beetles.
If I'm dead, does that mean I can speak to other people that are dead?
Oh, yeah! You want to meet Mark? Oh, he's just a guy. He's just a great guy. No, I'm saying you probably want to meet. You might want to chat to someone that you know, right?
We could go to Mark.
No. It's just who do you want to see?
There's only one person I want to see. My father. Hi, Dad.
Hi.
I'm so sorry that all that brass crushed you very shortly after I left.
Not your fault, son.
That means a lot for you to say that. I wasn't there, so yeah. What's it like being dead?
Empty.
Honestly, I'm feeling the same after winning the marathon. Really? Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair. Well, I guess we'll have a lot of time to make up for all that. Why not? I'm not dead. Well, then I'm going to go and live a full life. I wish I could hug you, but you know. Plus, you're a ghost. But I love you, Dad.
Should have fucking gone.
Well, I guess I'm going back.
What are you trying to tell me? You're not dead? You're trying to tell me you ran the same race as me and you didn't die? You think you're better than me and Mark? Fuck you, man! I'll kill you myself! I'll kill you myself! I'll kill you myself!
Now, I don't know what is happening. Every time I try to put this medal around his neck, it thrashes around.
Oh, that'll be because he's riddled with strychnine.
You gave this man strychnine?
Hey, listen, lady, I don't tell you how to wear a big floppy hat. Emily Spinach, attack!
Alice Roosevelt, ow.
Hey, tell me!
Hey, you are, buddy. Hey, yeah, I hope you didn't think I was really going to win the race. I would never do that. It's just a classic prank. Hey, you were amazing out there, pal. I tell you, you're an inspiration. Next time I go running, I'm going to do it the way you do it, pal. Just me and the road. And all the drugs that you take. Fred, I think that was the worst race I've ever run.
Oh, come on, pal! You did great! There's nobody in the world that could have run that race better than you. Nobody.
Somewhere on the side of the road, earlier. Felix Carvajal wakes up from his nap. Refreshed. He starts running again. He enters the stadium. And the 5-foot Cuban mailman, who dreamed of representing his country, whether they wanted him to or not, who ran in dress shoes and woolen trousers, having hitchhiked 600 miles without eating or sleeping for 2 days, who stopped constantly to talk to strangers, to steal peaches, to pick apples, to have a fucking nap, comes in fourth. His time is not recorded. Hello, I am Felix Carvajal. I am from Cuba. Felix. Oh my God. How did you do that? I like to run. Of the 32 runners who started the race, 14 make it to the finish line. Thomas Hicks is taken to hospital, where he is found to be low in vitality. Over the course of the race, he's lost 8 pounds. And he nearly dies. He makes a full recovery though, don't worry. And he, in fact, never runs again. That's probably not a surprise. He takes up a new vocation. He becomes a clown. I imagine people don't really get him over there. Fred Laws is banned for life from competing in American sports. The ban is lifted 2 weeks later. Next year, he goes on to win the Boston Marathon. Felix Carvajal, on the back of his incredible performance, is selected to represent Cuba at the next Olympics in Greece. And they even give him money for the trip. However, upon arriving in Italy, he disappears. He is eventually presumed dead. And his obituary is published. A year later, he turns up back in Cuba. Nobody knows where he went. Alice Roosevelt went on to become a prominent author. When she moved out of the White House, she buried a voodoo doll of the new First Lady in the garden. She married the Speaker of the House of Representatives and had many, many affairs. Len Tanyani is one of the few to finish. He comes in 9th. And it's widely believed he would have done a lot better had he not been chased so far by wild dogs. The marathon as a whole is considered to be a disaster, and James Sullivan recommends it be abolished completely. Nobody is actually held responsible for what happened, though in subsequent races, strychnine would be banned, and athletes were even allowed to drink water. James Sullivan, he doesn't run the Olympics anymore. Obviously, he's long dead, but much better people run the Olympics, and people like James Sullivan just run the whole world. When you go home, you probably, I recommend jumping on the old Wikipedia link and checking out this story, because it is incredible. And gosh, while you're there, chuck them a £1. Yeah, that's what this whole show is for! Open your wallets! Yeah, it's, but I think if you do read it, I don't know, when I read the story, it was pretty clear to me who the real winner was. And in 100 years, when I'm dead and gone, I can't think of a better way to be remembered than as someone who found a way to enjoy the race. Yeah. Someone who did stuff not because they felt like they had to, but because they just loved to do it. Who never missed the opportunity for a nap. And who lost all their money gambling. And that's how I'm gonna be. And that's why I'm not gonna run a marathon. Thank you.